Nestling among the huge sand dunes of the Libyan Sahara is one of the most striking natural wonders on Earth, the Mandara Lakes. The appearance of the lakes varies according to prevailing groundwater conditions. For those who live in the desert of the Tuareg, it's a common sight. Some of the 11 lakes have dried out, such as that of the Mandara, while others, like the Amalma, are at their most impressive. Each lake is surrounded by a green belt in which reed and date palms create what is tantamount to being a biblical ambience, a magnificent oasis. Between the Wadi Ajal in the south and the Wadi Ashiati in the north is the tongue of the seemingly endless ocean of sand of the Ubari. There were once a number of lakes in this region, around 1,000 kilometers from the coast, and surrounded by 200-meter-high sand dunes. People settled around the lakes. Desert tribes referred to them as the Ramla Douadah, worm-eaters, as they were said to eat worms. They were actually a tiny variety of saltwater crayfish that was highly nutritious. Due to the very high saltwater content, it is not possible to swim here. It's only possible to float on the surface. Some of the Mandara lakes dry out completely, but they're not buried by the ever-moving masses of desert sand. It's a fascinating miracle of nature. The first European who saw the lakes was explorer Edward Vogel. He discovered these natural wonders while traveling from Merzouk. Some of the small lakes are the remains of a huge inland lake that once covered what is now the Sahara Basin. Maflou Lake is also surrounded by reeds and palm trees. It is the smallest of the lakes that has not yet dried out. It's a place of silence and contemplation. But why is it that the water doesn't dry out in the scorching heat of the Sahara? The answer lies in the fact that the lakes are connected to each other beneath the ground by artesian pressure. It's believed that they're supplied with water as a result of events that date back to various geological epochs, each with its own particular content of salt. In the desert, the evaporation of water amounts to 2,500 milliliters each year because the temperatures here reach up to 50 degrees centigrade. The salt water that flows into the lakes does not evaporate, and thus creates a stunning effect. Over thousands of years, the salt content of the lakes has become as high as that of the Dead Sea. The most famous is the largest of the Mandara Lakes, Gaberoun, in the south of which is an 80-meter-high sand dune. The lake is situated in a peach-colored 200-meter-high dune area, framed by reeds and palm trees, a typical oasis. It's a real wonder of nature. A barrier of sand stops directly at the edge of the lake, a natural phenomenon that cannot be explained. This abandoned settlement on the banks of the lake is now in ruins. The desert reclaims the land and gradually covers the collapsed walls and buildings of what once was a town. A site of desolation and evidence of the power of nature. Gaberoun Lake lies peacefully amid the wonderful desert landscape. It appears like a mirage, an enigma of the senses. The surface of the water acts like a mirror that reflects the sand dunes. All is tranquil, still, and lacking in any sign of life. However, this is not quite true. In the evening, mosquitoes come out of the reeds and hedges, and mice, wildcats, beetles, and scorpions appear. The wildlife leaves its traces in the sand. During the day, it's only lizards and maybe a few raven that can be seen. Because of the high content of salt in the lakes, germs cannot develop in the water, as is the unfortunate case in many of the stagnant waters of Africa. A hole dug some meters from the lake down to groundwater level reveals clear water that is low in salt content. Today, the Mandara Lakes are a popular tourist attraction, an almost extraterrestrial-looking scene of paradise. A fascinating wonder of nature within the Sahara Desert.